Frozen Chapter 2. Anna, Sven, Elsa, and the gang have all returned to accomplish bigger and better things than they did in the first one. But is Frozen 2 just as good as the original, or does the sequel fall short of expectations? And is it a disappointment, or is it just an easy cash grab for Disney? I botched that opening, didn't I? Anyway, hi, my name is Idina, and on my channel, I watch things so you don't have to. So today, I will be reviewing and spoiling Frozen Chapter 2, or probably just ranting or just talking about it. I don't know. You'll figure out what I'm doing with this. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, before I dive into this and I rant about it, please go see the movie and then come back because I am going to spoil it to the best of my ability. But if you don't really care and you just trust my opinion, I thank you for trusting my opinion. But I'm going to just talk about it. So, the original Frozen was something that came out of nowhere in 2013. It was a story that broke the traditions of the female princess archetype. We had Brave the year before, and then we had Frozen. We had Elsa, who was the princess, and then you had Anna, who was this girl who just fell in love with a man, but then broke traditions by not falling in love with the male prince. And then, it was all about an act of kindness, not a kiss, which broke the traditions of what we are accustomed to seeing with the Disney princesses having to be rescued by the male protagonist. So it broke traditions. It had beautiful music in there, Adele, Idina Menzel. Oh, I'm like John Travolta now. She has a beautiful voice and she really transcended that song of Let It Go. And that was one of the reasons why that movie was great, because the song got stuck in your heads. Your kids started watching it and they were on and on and on with that song all summer, even into 2014. And that movie had a very long shelf life with audiences and kids alike. Everybody was singing that song. It had girl power. Back in 2014, it was really huge with girl power and female empowerment. So it was great that a movie that pretty much embraced that with the female princesses, it allowed for girls in society to, go along with that trend. So fast forward 15 years, 15, God. Fast forward about 5 years later, and we have Frozen Chapter 2. And it picks up right where it left off. But society has come to grasp with female protagonists. It's not odd to see females on the screen. But we are in such a weird time nowadays where females at the box office, unfortunately, with Charlie's Angels and Terminator Dark Fate and a lot of the other female movies, aren't doing so well on one side, but on the other side, you have Captain Marvel, you have Wonder Woman, and you have a lot of movies that have come out since Frozen with female protagonists that do well with audiences that are breaking the traditions. But even though those are superhero movies, and then you have Mad Max Fury Road, which I guess, Charlize Theron is a bankable name. But you have those types of movies where female protagonists are there, and those movies do well, even though they're superhero movies, versus movies that, they're not really resonating with audiences just because people just don't want to see them because they're already established franchises and properties that, despite women trying, or despite Hollywood doing their best to get these women involved, they're just not that interesting. So back to what you really clicked on. I told you it was going to be kind of a rant. So Frozen Chapter 2 is kind of disappointing. I can see why they made the movie because it's holiday time. It's getting time where, kids are about to be asking for gifts. It's sticking with the female movement. It's sticking with the holidays of Thanksgiving and then Christmas. It's going to be able to take families to go see it when you got nothing better to see because there's not a lot of good stuff at the movie theaters nowadays. So that's one of the good things with this movie. It's a good family movie. If nothing else, if you are a parent and you just want to take your child to go see something, you just want to decompress for the week, and you just take your child out of this is the movie for you. It's family friendly, it's safe, it's got beautiful visuals, it has got okay music. But if you are going because you have an expectation and you expected Disney to pull out a Toy Story 2 with this, well then my friends, you are going to be sadly disappointed because this is not the movie. It is a movie that is more lackluster, it is not impressive, and it doesn't have the same social impact as the first one did. It's more like, we got this movie and a lot of people like this intellectual property and, let's just do it again. And another thing, it doesn't have the LGBTQ plus character that it promised that it was going to have. So they said that they were going to do this. They brought up a lot of controversy, but as we all know, Disney's not going to take a risk like that when they know that most parents aren't going to take their child to see that. That's a conversation for another day, but most people aren't going to go see a character in an LGBTQ relationship, because in order for that to be a legitimate relationship, they have to partake in some type of mutual connection. And that's where parents are probably going to sway away. So Disney promised it, but Disney didn't deliver because Disney cares about that money. And if that movie were actually happening where there was gay characters for Elsa, well, it would have probably been banned in areas like China or different places out overseas. And that's where Disney movies generally do well. So Disney's not going to take that risk because it's all about that money. So how was the music in this movie? The music was passable. It wasn't as transcending as the first one. A lot of this movie was just fan service. If you are a fan, a dedicated fan, and you just wanted to see it, this is the movie for you. Just kind of like how Maleficent was. Maleficent was a movie that came out in 2014 around that same women's wave, fairy tale creatures breaking traditions, and it did well, but then they couldn't recapture the same magic in 2019. Similar to this movie, in my opinion. It's probably going to still do good at the box office because it's right on the helms of a holiday weekend coming up next week. So people are going to go see it. It's a family movie. And that's all I really got to say about this movie. I don't think anything was really stood out to me. But hey, it's a family movie. Take your kids to go see it. That's my review of Frozen Chapter 2.